Need some coins for that God Squad you've always wanted? For fast and cheap coins, check out redzonecoins.com and use code ZERK for 15% off your order.
The whole thing wobbin', wobbin', wobbin'. When I come around, got the whole thing wobbin'.
What's going on, guys? It's Zirksee coming at you today with another YouTube video, and today I'm going to be over my Team of the Week, Week 2 predictions. Now, I do want to give a shout out to Robert Simmons for being a part of the Totw gang. If you guys want a chance to be shouted out in the next video, drop a like in the video, make sure you guys are subbed to the channel, turn the notification bell on, comment down below, Totw gang. Now, before I actually go over my Team of the Week 2 predictions, though, guys, when I ask you guys over on Twitter to submit your predictions like I usually do, there is a lot of confusion. I think that some of you guys still don't quite understand exactly how Team of the Week works because, to be honest with you guys, it is kind of confusing, so I completely understand why some of you guys were, like, submitting some players for LTDs that just can't be used, and also for, like, heroes and stuff. So I'm going to go over Team of the Week and exactly how it works because I'm pretty sure that some of you guys don't still understand, which there's completely no, like, that's completely fine, because honestly, it's kind of confusing. But I'm just going to do a quick rundown, again, of how Team of the Week kind of works that way for my predictions, and for you guys in the comment section to go, where's this player at? And then he literally can't even be picked because that's just not how Team of the Week works. Make sure you guys watch the video all the way through because I know I'm going to get some comments just like last week of, where's this guy at? He didn't even mention him in the video, and I literally did as honorable mention, but they just skipped through and didn't see that I put him as honorable mention or anything. So make sure you guys watch all the way through because I already know I'm going to get a comment of where's this guy, where's this guy, and either they're not going to be eligible to be used or I already said them as honorable mention, but you didn't hear me. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to explain to you guys exactly how this works. So we are going to get an offensive hero and a defensive hero that are a flashback type player, right? So this could be a legend type player like Bryant Young, Arian Foster. I guess you could consider him. Not really, I guess. It's kind of confusing. It's not like full legend. It's like fan favorite legend type players type stuff like flashbacks. It's a little bit weird, right? So these are not current players, but these are players that had historically great weeks during that week. So we're gonna get a player from 2005, let's say, week 2, someone that had a really good game. You can see Arian Foster, 2010. So these go back quite a few years ago, and this is gonna be what we're gonna have for offensive and defensive hero for week 2. Now, this is a very important and key part of Team League predictions, guys. Please pay attention to this specific part. When it comes to the actual current day players, like Davante Adams in week 1, this is the only hero card that we actually got from 2020, week 1, was Davante Adams. There's only going to be one player of the week every single week that is going to get a hero card from that current week. Now, the LTD TJ Watt, that is not from 2020. He had a good week in week 1 of 2020, but that is actually from years previous. So the way that the LTD works is it is going to be a player that had a good week 2 from previous years that still currently plays, right? So from like 2018, 2017 week 2, he had a good week. It's not from 2020, and I had a ton of people saying, oh, we could get an LTD Russell Wilson or LTD what? And no, we can't because it's just not how Team League works this year. It's not based off of the current day players as the LTD. It's about previous years, their performances, but current day players. So I wanted to get that out of the way because I know some people are kind of confused about how the actual heroes work, and I can definitely tell by the Team League predictions you guys are sending in. But when it comes to the actual sets, now the sets are a little bit different, right? So these are actually current day players, of course, based on their performances, but you guys can see they're not actual, like, upgrade cards, right? So, like, Russell Wilson has an 87 overall base elite. He got an 86 overall collectible. These are just kind of collectibles, but Team League predictions as well, guys, there's no gold cards. You're not going to see a single gold player get a Team League upgrade unless they somehow get the hero, because these are all based on power-ups. All these players have power-ups, and they got +1 overalls in their power. So Russell Wilson had an 87 overall base elite, powered up to an 88. You can now +1 and get him to an 89 overall in his power-up sequence. And then with Adam Thielen, Josh Jacobs. So guys, when it comes to the Team League predictions for these 6 players I'm going to have for this set, they're all going to be elite players that also have power-ups, and they're just going to get +1 overalls, unless EA changes it and decides to give gold players cards. But I'm just basing my predictions off of how they did Team League Week 1 and the fact that every single player had a power-up, every single player just got a +1. I don't think they're going to do gold cards. So hopefully that clears it up for you guys. Now let's get into my prediction list. So starting off the list, I'm going to go with Julian Edelman. He had 8 catches, 179 yards, did not have a touchdown, but had a really, really good game versus the Seahawks, almost said versus the Patriots. They don't have to win to go ahead and get a Team of the Week card. Julian Edelman, I think, could potentially see a set upgrade, right? So we may see Edelman as like a 78 overall collectible, but in his power up, you'll be able to +1 overall to him. So I think Edelman will probably end up getting a card. Now I'm going to go with 2 wide receivers on the offense side of things. I feel like Stefon Diggs also had a good enough game to go ahead and get a +1. He had 8 catches, over 150 yards, and a touchdown, finally showing that connection there with Josh Allen. So Stefon Diggs, I would not be surprised at all to see get a Team of the Week card and get that +1 overall in his power up, which to be honest, not going to be a crazy card, but it'll be setting up the stages for Stefon Diggs to get that next upgrade. I feel like Diggs is going to be a really, really good card later in the year. Seeing how he has like decent speed, you know, same speed as his overall. So like when he gets up to like 97 overall, maybe we'll have like 96 speed Diggs. And also his route running 83, 82, 83. That's all going to progressively just increase as he goes up in overall. So he's going to hit all the route running thresholds by the time that he does get like a really, really high card. So Diggs may be a sleeper card if you want to power him up. As for a running back, and I'm going to put him in the offense set, so the final offensive set player, Aaron Jones. He had an absolutely ridiculous week. Now, Aaron Jones had 18 rushes for 168 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, I will say this, spoiler, Aaron Jones is also going to be honorable mention here for the actual Team of the Week hero. I just don't think they're going to give back-to-back Packers as the one current player. So last week we had Devontae Adams. Aaron Jones is eligible to go ahead and get that card, but I don't think they'll do back-to-back Packers. So Aaron Jones is more than likely just going to get the Josh Jacobs treatment, which is kind of unfortunate because he had a really, really good week. A lot of Raiders fans very excited. Hopefully they would, hoping they get a big-time Josh Jacobs upgrade. You get a +1. I think, unfortunately, Packers fans, you're just going to get a +1 to Aaron Jones, too. Now, as for one of my lower overall guys over on the defense side of the ball, so last week we had Ryan Kerrigan. This week I'm going with Ndamukong Suh. He had 5 tackles and 2 sacks. I believe he was probably going to be one of the lowest overall cards in the entire Team of the Week program this week. You guys can see 81 block shed, not much of a pass rusher, 88 strength, 65 speed. This he gets +1. Now, next up is going to be Devin McCourty. They had an incredible game versus the Seahawks. Again, they did not win, but I would not be surprised to see another Patriots player here because Devin McCourty did have a pick 6, and he has an 85 overall card, so I think he fits kind of perfectly into the sets. And as for the one big-time player I think we're going to actually see in these sets this week, I think it's going to be J.J. Watt. Last week we had Russell Wilson and also Stephon Gilmore. This week I think it's going to be J.J. Watt, 87 overall card. He had 2 sacks. I think he is probably going to get this upgrade. If they want to continue the trend, I'll give him at least like 187 overall plus player an upgrade. I think this week it's going to be J.J. So let's get into the offensive hero and the defensive hero, guys. Remember, these are the flashback type players. So these are players that had good weeks that are currently not in the NFL anymore, right? So let's start off with the offensive hero. I think it is going to be CJ2K from 2009. He had 284 total yards and 3 TDs. Now, an honorable mention here. Kralo actually messed up on the stream this morning. He did say Jamal Charles when they were going through the giveaways. Like, I don't know in what context he said it, but I just know I got a bunch of tweets of people saying that he accidentally said Jamal Charles instead of something that he meant to say. So maybe he was hinting at Jamal Charles coming tomorrow. I do know that Jamal Charles had a really, really good week 2. I think he had like 3 touchdowns and over 150 total yards, something like that in a week 2. So it is possible that we see him there. Now, as for the defensive hero, guys, I'm just going to let you guys know right now that I'm not super confident on this one. Kind of a reach. I'm going to say Darrelle Revis. Darrelle Revis had in 2015 a pick and 2 fumble recoveries in a week 2. To be honest, this was a pretty hard week to find someone that had like a historically great week 2 that currently isn't in the NFL anymore. I was trying to look back through everything and look through. Someone let me know down below if you guys have a better honorable mention or someone you think may end up getting it. That's probably the least confident prediction that I have on my entire list is Darrelle Revis. We do know, though, that they do have his rights, so maybe Revis, but they may want to save him for something else. I'm just going to say Revis. But as for the current player that I think is going to get a card, I'm going to go with Dak Prescott. Now, Dak Prescott had 468 total yards and 4 touchdowns and one of the most historically great comebacks in NFL history, led by Dak Prescott. He had 3 rushing touchdowns and 1 passing TD, so I feel like Dak Prescott definitely does deserve to get the 1 player. Now, honorable mention here, I'm going to put Aaron Jones. There was a lot of other players that had really good games, guys, but please, please, please remember, someone like Russell Wilson is not going to get the card because Russell Wilson already has a Team Week upgrade from last week. You guys have to remember what players have what overalls. They're not going to give Russell Wilson, who already has an 87 overall base elite and now at +1 in his power up, the Team Week hero. They're not going to do it. So just remember that when you're going over who you think could potentially get the hero in the comment section. I think it's going to be Dak because Dak doesn't have a very high overall base elite, but he does have a base elite card. I think it's going to be Dak Prescott. And as for the LTD, I'm going to go with Ryan Shazier. Now, this one, I will say, I'm probably wrong with this, right? But I'm going to go with this because I feel like Shazier is perfect to give the team of the week. He had 15 tackles and 3 tackles for loss with a forced fumble and a fumble recovery, I want to say in 2015. And Ryan Shazier, as you guys already know, is officially retired, right? But they never gave him a retirement tribute card. And they actually asked Shazier in a live stream, like Shazier was streaming, someone asked him in the chat if he was going to be in Madden this year, and he said that he doesn't quite know. He may be in Madden Ultimate Team, that he just doesn't know if he's going to be. So I think that because he did officially retire, I think that they still have his rights, but I just don't know, honestly, if they will put him as the LTD because it's supposed to be players that are currently still playing, but he just retired, so I'm kind of bending the rules here on if I think he could get the LTD or not. Maybe he will actually end up getting the flashback player for the defensive this week, but I'm kind of holding out hope that he is going to get an upgrade nonetheless, whether it be as the LTD or as the defensive. I think I'd probably rather him have as the defensive 89 because he'll obviously be a lot cheaper than being the LTD, but I wouldn't be surprised to see EA put him as the limited as a very wanted player since they didn't end up giving him, or even some of the other players like Aqib Talib, a retirement tribute. So I think this could be where they throw him in. So with that being said, guys, those are my team of the week predictions. Let me know down below your guys' team of the week predictions. I know some people are going to be upset I don't have their favorite player on the team of the week predictions. It happens every single week, and it's perfectly fine. But with that being said, guys, I hope you did enjoy the video. And if you did, make sure to drop a like on the video. And, of course, hit that sub button down below. I'll see you guys next time.